Again, a very good afternoon to each one of you. What a captivating morning we all have had, and there is much more to come. I'm CA Rashi Mantri, and I'll be taking you along this session. Can I have the AV of the session, please?
Session 3.
Unlocking potential. It infers turning your should into must and creating that ultimate belief in yourself. Taking the learning curve forward, may I request the session chair, Mr. Manoj Jain, MD, Shri Ram Life Insurance, to escort our speakers for this session, Mr. Ramchandra Agrawal and Mr. Rajesh Mittal, to the dais, please. 2 days of knowledge sharing, learning, and networking have surely paved a path to unlock the potential of Bharat and definitely our future. Please welcome Mr. Ramchandra Agrawal and Mr. Rajesh Mittal. May I request Mrs. Shikha Jain to welcome Mr. Ramchandra Agrawal, Chairman and MD, V2 Retail Limited, with a plant sampling. I now request Dr. Vivek Kushwa, Director, IBMR IPS Academy, to welcome Mr. Rajesh Mittal, MD, Isuzu Motors India Limited, with a plant sampling. Moving ahead, today's ET headlines read that the Indian auto industry is set to invest $7 billion, about 58,000 crore, to deepen the advanced components manufacturing in India by financial year 28. To throw more light on this, we have our next speaker with us, Mr. Rajesh Mittal. Can we have the AV of Sir, please?
Mr. Rajesh Mittal, President and Managing Director of Isuzu Motors India and President of Isuzu Engineering Business Center India. He led logistics at UD Trex Corporation Japan before this assignment and worked as purchasing head in Volvo Group. Also, Rajesh was the manufacturing operations head in Dongfeng Commercial Vehicles China and Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicles Pithampur. Mr. Mittal brings 38 years of technical, business and operations experience. We are proud to share Rajesh is local from Indore and holds the distinction of being the first Indian to be the President and Managing Director of a Japanese company, Isuzu Motors India. Rajesh is a mechanical engineer and a cost accountant and completed a professional course in leadership at Leeds. On the personal side, Rajesh Mittal is an avid sportsperson, traveler, voracious reader and an ardent lover of music. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Rajesh Mittal.
The stage is yours, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, since I am between your lunch and my speech, so I'll try my best to stay to the topic. I belong to a Japanese company and we believe in zero defects. So, since topic has been given to me in unlocking global potential and shaping the future of Bharat, so you won't listen to my story, you will listen to the topic. That is what I'll try. Briefly, I will give you a quick introduction of Isuzu because sometimes in India people get confused this with Suzuki. So Isuzu is a global manufacturing company. They are topmost leader for CV manufacturing company in Japan. We have 100 years of experience. We have operations in 25 countries and our products are sold in 150 countries. And we are market leader in 45 countries. And the last year, we sold 7.71 lakh vehicles, cars and commercial vehicle across the globe. And our turnover was 2 lakh crore with a profit of 15,000 crore. It's a big global company. And somebody said, I am Indori and your local person is heading this company. Then Isuzu Motors India, you will be surprised to know that when I joined 2 years back, we were number 3 exporter to Middle East country or GCC country. And I'm very proud to share, we make these products, adventure utility vehicle and commercial vehicle. In current year, Isuzu Motors India is number 1 exporter from India for commercial vehicle. So I feel proud that an Indore person is contributing in a Japanese company. And second biggest achievement we have done is, when I joined, we had 5% women in our company. This year, we are 18% women employees, and we are largest in commercial vehicle company, and we will take it forward to much beyond. Now, when I'll cover my presentation, you will understand the value of supplying globally. Like one speaker spoke about the domestic market. But if India has to unlock global potential, we have to become much bigger exporter. And this company today does 90% of its make in India produce, it is getting exported. So what I'll do now, I'll explain you the philosophy on which whole globe is working. So basically, if you want sustainable development in the world, there is a concept of ESG, which is being practiced, which is a combination of environment, governance, and society. So basically, any business is for profit or economy, but today world is saying, if you are running a business, run it for society and people, and run it by keeping planet healthy, the environment good. So it's a combination of economy, society, and planet. If you do all three together, then you have a sustainable growth. You can see Isuzu believes in this philosophy. If you visit our global website, we have taken a goal of becoming net zero by 2050. If you see on my coat, on one side I wear 100 years Isuzu's logo, and on the other side, our net zero commitment in entire business, not only our products, but our manufacturing, our raw material, everything will go net zero. I will today explain you the basics of if India wants to grow globally, what it needs to do. So those fundamentals I'll try to explain in my subsequent slide. Basically, just for your information, United Nations formulated by keeping a base of 2015, 17 goals. So they're represented by 17 colors. So they decided 17 goals for the whole world where everyone should focus. If you want to have a balance between growth, planet and society, if you want to strike a good balance, then they defined those 17 goals with 169 key performance parameters. If you drive those 169 parameters and they set up goals for 2030, where this world should reach, and then second step by 2050. So that is where we have taken a goal of becoming net zero by 2050. So I will explain you in each of these dimensions, top 10 areas where we should focus if we really want to make Bharat a globally competitive economy. So first, I will touch upon environment dimension. You all know that climate is changing. Now, first disclaimer, whatever I'll speak, I will back it up with data, which is picked up from the websites of United Nations or UNESCO or WHO or various organizations, which you can also see. So I will not read those references, but you can read that from where I have picked up this data, and I tried to do some hard work so that I can share with you some in-depth knowledge about how we can become sustainable development we can do for our country or for Bharat. So first challenge is what we are facing is the greenhouse gas emission. So basically we need to focus on greenhouse gas emission prevention, and many others are struggling for that. If India can do this job well, I think we have a big possibility of growth. And you can see, someone just now mentioned that 10 cities of India are in the top polluting country, and 400 ppm we often read in the newspaper. Some of the cities are reaching. So one topic is climate change, so we need to put a lot of efforts to prevent the greenhouse emission. Second topic is biodiversity loss. You can see 1 million species are at risk, and global rate of species extinction is much faster right now. So we need to, if we want to grow or bring development, we need to prevent this biodiversity loss in all our action. The third topic is deforestation, which leads to top two situation. So in order to get our woodlots or agriculture or infrastructure growth, we end up cutting forest. So forest deforestation again is another area where we need to be focused, because if forests are not there, this growth doesn't become an inclusive growth or a sustainable growth. Then the fourth topic is water scarcity. You all know that many people do not get water or proper sanitation, and we are depleting the water resources. So again, the growth has to be kept in mind that we should not deplete the water resources. And then air pollution. So poor air quality, and you will be surprised to know the data from WHO, 9 out of 10 people are facing the bad quality air, either inside the house or inside the office and outside. So you can see the gravity of the problem and what we are doing with the pollution in order to achieve the growth. So this, and then the sixth topic in environment is ocean pollution. So we don't mind throwing plastics. 8 million tons of plastic enter the ocean annually, just imagine. And oil spills, chemical contaminants, they all are harming marine life. And if marine life get extinct, then we will suffer as a human being. So ocean pollution is another key topic which India need to keep it in mind. And we have very bad habit of throwing plastics and chemicals into the rivers and even sea. Then resource depletion. So you can see that we are extracting resources much faster than they are getting generated. So right now we are depleting resources 1.75 times more than nature is generating them. Just imagine where we are heading for. So we need to be careful in using resources. We should be optimal. And then waste generation. You can see that Indore is a clean city, but then amount of waste we are generating, if that itself we control, that is a much better situation. And just see the figures, 2 billion tons of solid waste are generated annually, which is likely to reach 3.4 billion ton. So when we generate waste, we don't realize what we are doing, but see the impact on the entire world. So, and the next area is chemical pollution. As I talked about, that we are leaving our chemicals, hazardous chemical to the earth, to the water. So it is impacting both biodiversity as well as water quality and entire ecosystem. So in nutshell, and the last is land depletion. So we are using land in an unsustainable way. We end up, we are doing desertification, we are doing soil erosion, and doing all kind of pollution on the earth. So if we continue to do like this, then after some time our next generation won't have a good planet to live in. So basically, I have picked up this top 10 topics for environment. So whatever business you are in or whatever corporates you are working, keep these topics in your mind that you have to have sustainable growth. Just don't work for your business or profit without thinking about society, people, and planet. The next topic I'll bring is social dimension. In social dimension, poverty and inequality is one of the biggest challenge we need to solve, because if you see 1% of people have wealth which is equivalent to 90% of the population. So that kind of inequality we have. And then we have a lot of malnutrition. Some of the speakers talked about malnutrition before also. So 790 million people have chronic under malnutrition. Just imagine, we feel so comfortable, we have a good life, but imagine people who don't even get basics or food to survive. So this is, any growth in the society should keep this in mind. Then access to education. So you can see that approximately 250 million children and youth don't attain the basic education. So that is the data from UNESCO. And this is one very big challenge, gender inequality. As I talked about 18% women in Isuzu, just see very simple thing. We are 50% men, 50% women. If we don't give equal opportunity to women, then we are not doing justice to 50% of the nature's resources. And even today, if we start recruiting women or bring them in the top leadership, as per World Economic Forum, it will take 135 years to achieve equality. See the gravity of the problem. So that is one area we need to be very conscious about when you are recruiting people, that we need to provide a right environment to women, we need to give them jobs, and we need to allow them to grow in the leadership. Then comes healthcare. We faced COVID, we saw how much people suffer. And then half of the world's population doesn't have the basic healthcare. And you all know that we have some people working for you. If they get one chronic disease, they become in debt for life. And many people lose their life. 100 million people lose their life or get into extreme poverty because they don't have basic health care and they need to take loan. So just imagine the amount of problem healthcare system pose in front of people. Then human rights. We have so many issues about the human rights violation. We don't realize that, like one Govindji talked about giving good salaries to people whom you employ. So basically we need to understand that everyone have needs of their own family, their health care, their basics, and if we don't create structured employment and we continue to have informal sector, then this problem of human rights will continue, because there are companies who, even some companies they go for global jobs, laborers, their passport are kept by those companies. So that kind of exploitation is there. So human rights is another big issue. Then social inclusion. So there are a lot of minorities or marginal groups or ethnicities where we don't include them, and there are dominations by some upper caste or some people. So that is another big worry United Nations have, because unless we have social inclusion, our growth doesn't have any meaning. Then displacement, like just now the speaker was talking about the war. So it forces people to displace to other places. And just imagine, 80 million people were forcefully displaced as per UNHRC. So there are a lot of people who are losing their homes, their city, their state or their country. So this is a very big issue which is being created by certain powers who create problem for people to survive. Then water and sanitation, I earlier talked about. So basic sanitation is not there. Like in India right now, we are making toilets. We get surprised because we have toilet. But then so many people don't have water, so many people don't have basic sanitation facility available. Just imagine. One speaker spoke that up to 7 years he did not even wear clothes, and they used to take bath when rain used to come. But since we are privileged, we never realize. So when you do growth, these social issues are very, very important. Then indigenous rights, like there are a lot of Indians or native people So they don't know, they don't even speak your language, they don't even have formal education. So we need to protect their culture, their ethnicity. So that is also getting challenged these days. And last but not the least, the labor rights, for which ILO is continuously fighting. We have to give basic wages. We try to hire people by giving them less than minimum wages. We don't take care of their welfare, their health needs. So unless we become large-hearted and we realize our responsibility to take care of people, it will be, this growth is of no use. And ultimately, it won't help the entire society or nation. So since we are 1.4 billion people, we are a large country, I think this dimension, social dimension, put very big challenge for India, and I think we need to be very conscious about it. Then I'll come to the last dimension, that is economic dimension. So I already talked about the economic inequality in the first dimension. That is, a lot of rich people hold a lot of wealth, and as one speaker spoke, that we need to distribute wealth so that more and more people can have livelihood and earn. So poverty and inequality, I have already touched upon. Unemployment, this is one very big issue, and global unemployment is 8.3%, but in India, there is so much of informal sector that our unemployment we don't even come to know. So we need to employ people, we need to give growth. Like my personal vision as a corporate person is, I can give growth to my industry or my business wherever I am working so that I can employ more and more people and I can make their life better. So if each one of us try for that, we can create really better livelihood for our society. Then comes the informal economy, which I was talking about earlier. So there are many people who do not hire people as per law, they don't follow minimum wages also, they can fire people next day. No rules are followed, no PF is given, no future is thought, no healthcare system is given. So this informal economy has to convert into formal economy. And then resource depletion. If we can, the way we are consuming material, which is tripled. So if we are not conscious about using resources, and we just, like most of us use water very liberally, please use as much as you need. Don't use extra because you have abundance. So these are the small, small habits. So resources are getting depleted. So many people don't even have basics. So if we are conscious about resource usage, that will help overall economy. Then unsustainable debt. So if you see, the global debt is $281 trillion. We are talking of becoming 3 trillion in economy. So this is 55% of the overall GDP of the world. That is the kind of debt on which we are. So markets are growing. Your market cap is very big, but actually you have so much of debt. So unless we are conscious about that, so use money vigilantly. We can't waste money because we have. We have to be conscious about that we are living on huge debt. Then we have to have financial inclusion. So like in India, a lot of bank accounts are being opened. So you please be aware that 1.7 billion adults in the world don't even have a bank account or have access to basic financial services. So that is the kind of challenge world has. So unless we have financial inclusion, the growth will not be complete. Then trade imbalance. Like some countries have huge earnings and other countries don't have any opportunities. They are debt driven, they don't have enough GDP, they are only surviving on tourism or debt from others. So basically, trade imbalance is another big issue. Energy dependence, you can see that our 85% of energy is fossil fuel. We don't utilize the natural energy yet. So unless we do that, we can't save this planet. And then the last is the budget challenges. So we give a lot of money for various purposes, and we keep borrowing money for that, but then money has to be used judiciously. So these economic dimensions are another important thing. So in conclusion, unlocking the global potential and shaping the future of Bharat required bold decisions, decisive actions, and unwavering commitment on environment, social, and economic aspect. I'll end my talk by saying that harness global potential. We all should move from individual success to collective significance, because only thinking about ourselves will not help. And we all can make a difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. What an appealing session it was. It was wonderful listening to you, sir. May I now request our session chair, Mr. Manoj Jain, to summarize the session for us.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm just standing between you and your lunch, so I'll not take much time. But though contrast speakers was here, while Mr. Agrawal was talking more on your health and mind, as an individual, what best you can do and how best you can achieve. When the individuals are good, the society will definitely be the good. And I think Rajesh has spoken on that ESG, and I think he has beautifully summarized when individuals and the collective. So he was talking about environment, social, and economic dimensions. I think when these two merge together, we can have a wonderful world. So I'll not take much of the time. Thank you very much for both the speakers. And I should say thanks for the selection committee who has chosen the two contrast. From morning I was observing, in both the sessions you have two contrast speakers, and I'm sure the audience must be enjoying it. So not taking much of your time, let's break for lunch. I think that's what is a... Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now request Mr. Ashok Jain, plant head from JSW Steel, to present a memento to Mr. Ramchandra Agrawal. Sir, your mission and vision of a quality life is what many of us seek as well. Your fight for a change in the system is surely commendable. I now request Mr. Dinesh Bhatt, Vice President, Complex Head, and Mr. Hridesh Upadhyay, Associate Vice President and Cluster HR Head of SRF Limited, Indore, to present a memento to Mr. Rajesh Mittal. So your ESG philosophy and conscious growth is the demand of the day. And as entrepreneurs, we need to incorporate the same in our businesses. We now break for the scrumptious lunch, and we look forward to have you all with us for the upcoming sessions with our learned speakers. We also have a session with the famous stand-up comedian, Mr. Atul Khatri. So let us come back for a daily dose of laughter. Thank you.